A very warm good evening to all of you. Welcome to the ANU webinar week. We would be having a webinar on the ANU clubs and societies. I'm just waiting for all the people to join in. We'll just wait for next 1 to 2 minutes and then we'll start our webinar session. And today we have with us President of Parsa, which is the Postgraduate Student Research Association. And also we have Katrina, who is from ANU Sports, who is the CEO. So both Katrina and Utsav would be talking about Parsa and ANU respectively. And thank you so much, everyone who has joined so far. Hope everyone is doing well and everyone is safe from whichever country you are participating today. And once again, on the behalf of ANU Marketing and Student Recruitment, I would like to welcome all of you in this webinar session in this webinar week. And today we'll be talking about the clubs and the societies of the Australian National University. So just a minute more, let all the people join this wonderful webinar. We have two fabulous people with us, Utsav Gupta and Katrina, who would be sharing about their respective organizations. So how are you, Utsav and Katrina, doing today?
Very well, thank you, Ritvik. Thanks for inviting us to join.
Perfect. So I can see we have a good amount of participants, and maybe Katrina, we can start with you. You can tell us more about the ANU Sports, your association, what we are doing for the students, and how our prospective students and the students who would be coming to the Australian National University can be a part of it.
Sure. I might try and share my screen if that's all right, Ritvik.
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, sure.
Just to give a little bit of context to what I'm going to be talking about. Let's try that. Share. Just bear with. Have a dual screen. Is that working?
Yep, I think we are good to go and we can see the screen.
You can see the screen? Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, hello everyone. I can't see anyone's faces, but hopefully you can see mine and hear me speak. The purpose of today is just to give you a bit of an overview of who ANU Sport are, what we do, and how you can get involved when you hopefully arrive and start studying at ANU. I believe we're going to have questions at the end once both myself and Utsav have spoken, but very happy to field any questions of things you want more information for. And also I'll make sure that Ritvik passes on the details of ANU Sport. So if you want to follow up in a bit more detail, then you have the opportunity to do so as well. So who are we? So ANU Sport is an affiliate of ANU. So essentially what that means is we're a separate legal entity from the ANU. That's a good and a bad thing sometimes, but mostly a positive. We're an incorporated association who are governed by a board, and Ritvik here is one of our board members at the moment, which is fantastic, and sharing some of the views and of the postgraduate community from that respect. We are a member-based association, and by default, all students who are registered with ANU are a member of ANU Sport. And so if you become a student at ANU, you will automatically become a member of ANU Sport. And we have a very important governance structure, which is balanced by students and alumni. So the alumni have formed a really important part of our history. And so our board is made up of approximately 50-50 current students and alumni. And that they are the people who guide our strategic and broader long-term thinking and plans for us as an organisation. So what do? We do a lot actually on campus. Our remit is pretty broad. We're essentially the custodians of sport and recreation. So if you're interested in joining a club or getting fit or using some of our facilities, we're the people on campus who will be able to help you do that. We see our objective as providing opportunity for the ANU community to be active and fit and healthy on campus. We operate all of the facilities on campus. So outside of the swimming pool, which is operated by a commercial provider, ANU Sport operate all of the sports halls and the ovals, and I'll list them in a second. But if you're interested in hiring any of them or using them for your club or your social sport, we're the people to come to, and we'll be able to facilitate bookings and access to all of the sports and recreational facilities on campus. We're also the provider of all of the competitive sport options. To date, we have 35 sports, and they range from all of your very traditional sports, soccer, Australian rules, football, hockey, netball, rugby, to some more obscure sports, but nonetheless popular, like Quidditch, and ultimate frisbee, and a real diverse range of martial arts as well. We have kung fu, taekwondo, aikido, kendo, and an enormous array and variety of clubs, which we hope provides lots of options and diversity across our sporting groups. We also have a fairly easy and student-friendly way to apply to register new clubs as well, and I think that's really important to evolve with the student community. I'm sure Quidditch wasn't a popular sport on campus 10 years ago, but it is now. We have over 100 members within that club, so from our perspective it's really important that we as an organisation evolve with the different interests of the student community. So we've got a couple of baseline requirements. You have to have a minimum level of people who are interested in joining your club before we kind of look to fund them and provide access and opportunities and support. But we'd like to think that we're very open to those requests. So at the moment we have 35 clubs, but I'm sure over time that will change and that will move. If joining a structured club isn't for you and it isn't for everyone, we also offer lots of really casual kind of social sporting opportunities, and they range from things like lunchtime sport, lunchtime soccer, touch football, frisbee, badminton, table tennis. If you just want to come along during a lunch hour and find someone to have a game with, there's lots of opportunities to do that. We run some kind of shorter programs, women's self-defense classes, introduction to the gym, introduction to different types of martial arts. So if you don't want to actually join a club and compete, there's lots of different ways that you can access some of these opportunities if informal engagement is more your thing. We'd like to think that we provide on that level as well. And in addition to that, we offer our amenities, specifically our sports halls during off-peak times, are available to students to just come and use as per their desires. So if you just want to bring a group of friends around to the sports halls and set up a table tennis game or have a shoot around on the basketball hoops, that's something we can facilitate as well. So on the spectrum of social to competitive, we like to think that there's something for everyone. Really importantly, we work very closely with the university on broader health and well-being. I think this time in history, in a period in our lives, I think we all understand the importance of a really strong physical and mental well-being, and we're strong believers that the two are connected. So we're very much in collaboration with the university to ensure that that's put at the forefront of the student experience on campus. We're working with the well-being side of the university on that strategic piece, and we also have a couple of programs up and running. One is with our counselling centre, whereby if you go to the counselling centre, you get a referral to ANU Sports fitness and facilities, and you can get some free access to complement some of the services that you might be receiving from the counselling centre. So that's something that we hope to really evolve over time, and as it's increasingly important on campus and to the broader uni, it is increasingly important to us. And last but not least, as a student organisation now, we make it our priority that we employ students. So if you come into our building at any given time of the day, certainly 90% of the casual staff that you will see will be students, either undergraduates or postgraduates, and a number of our part-time and full-time staff are also students. We think that's really important, and providing access on campus for employment, but also for us, that's the exact type of people we want to employ. We want people who understand what's going on campus, who can relate to their peer group, who can have a conversation with their friends and their colleagues when they access our building. It's also really important from our perspective that that reflects the diversity of the campus as well, and really important in an environment like ours, where we're talking to members all the time and inducting them and giving them one of their first experiences on campus. When you look across our casual staff, we have an enormous array of languages spoken, and different cultures that people come from, and we're really proud of that. So we hope that, and I won't say it's for everyone, but when you come through our doors, there is someone hopefully that you can at least have a conversation with, no matter your background or culture, and if they aren't on shift, it's certainly someone we can put you in touch with, and that's been great for us in terms of providing inductions to the gym or to classes or certain services in different languages, which we've found to be really really beneficial over time, and has had some really positive feedback. So what do our facilities look like? So some of you may have had a look on our website and seen what's offered across campus, but I thought maybe worthwhile giving a little recap on what the overview is. So we're pretty lucky living in a place like Canberra that's very green and accessible at the best of times, but we have a really beautiful campus, and part of what makes it so aesthetically pleasing is the number of green spaces that are available across campus. So you'll see 3 quite large grass ovals, and these accommodate everything from soccer to frisbee to rugby to interhall sport, which is very popular, to just group fitness training and different types of exercise. There's lots and lots of activity that you will see constantly being engaged with across campus on our grass ovals. We also have a synthetic oval, and that's very popular, particularly with varying degrees of football usage. It also has a synthetic cricket oval, and is used by lots of our kind of more social sports like Quidditch and frisbee. The synthetic oval, just because it's multi-purpose, is a great facility, and that's based just adjacent to Building 19, where we are on campus. We have 2 pavilions, North and South Pavilion. Both are a little bit aging, but there's some positive news on building, and I'll go on to that in a second about what those pavilions might look like in the future. But they support the activity that goes ahead on North and South Oval. So they contain changing rooms, canteens, bathroom facilities. So when you're participating in lunchtime sport, or your club is playing another club, there's a facility an indoor facility to get changed in and use the amenities. We have 2 very large sports halls, which outside of exam times are very, very active. During exam times, they tend to be the place where you typically sit your exams. But outside of those periods, they're very active from 6 in the morning until 10 at night. And as I said previously, what we look to do is offer free access during our off-peak hours to students. So you just have to come to our reception And as long as the facility is available, just register your interest, and that's something that we'll look to continue into the future. We think that's very popular for the more social users of our facilities. We have 2 squash courts, which are great. Squash courts appear to be a bit of a dying facility across Australia, and so we're really proud that we've still got 2, and they remain very popular, and a great sport to keep very fit and active, if that's something you're interested in. We obviously have our full service gym, which has a large cardio and a large weights room, and we have a separate strength and conditioning room, if kind of more heavy lifting is more your preference. As well as a group fitness studio. So in a normal week, and we're not in a normal week at the moment, we're just beginning to reopen after the COVID shutdowns, but in a normal week we offer on average 75 group fitness classes a week, and these range from yoga, Pilates, Shabam, box fit, a whole body pump, a whole range of really diverse group fitness classes, which are very, very popular. And they typically take place in either our group fitness studio or our dojo. Our dojo equally being very, very well used by our martial arts clubs. And then on campus we have a boathouse which accommodates our boat club and our mountaineering club, with all of the outdoor equipment that they need to use, and that's based on the edge of the lake that runs through campus. And then our sailing house, which is actually based just off campus in a place called Yarralumna, but probably a 5 or so minutes drive away. And we have a number of boats that are based within the sailing house, which the club are responsible for, and can once again be used out on the lake during periods where that's appropriate. These are just a couple of pictures just to give you an insight into the future of some of those facilities. This is what South Oval will look like in the next 18 months. This project has been given the green light and is fully funded, and will be a brilliant facility once built. So this will support all of the activity that will take place on South Oval, and within that building there is change rooms, there is cafeteria, there's a multi-function space, there is first aid room, an umpire's room, and a fully functional pavilion to be able to support the activity that goes on in South. So we're really, really excited to see that built. And then another project which will be developed in the next 18 to 24 months is the boathouse. So on the opposite side of the creek is the current boathouse, which is aging, and the university have supported the need for a newly developed boathouse. So there is some new student accommodation that's being built on campus, and this will form part of that new student complex when it's finally built. So they're 2 projects that we're really, really looking forward to seeing delivered, and will really enhance the facilities that we have on campus over the next couple of years for the students' usage. And the only other thing I was going to touch upon, sorry, one extra slide before I get there. Just ways to get involved. As I said, we've got a huge, diverse range of sports clubs, and the best way to hear about them typically is around the beginning of each semester. We have O Week and Bush Week activities that we collaborate with Parsa and ANUSA on, and we encourage all of our clubs to get out there and speak to the students and talk to them about the activities that they can get involved with. It's a great opportunity for signing up and trying different things. As much as possible, we do encourage our clubs to provide tryouts and come and try sessions, so that you can actually come and have a go of these things before you fully commit. We're firm believers of joining a new university and having a go at different sports and activities is a great way of trying a new skill, but also meeting different types of people. So we really encourage our clubs to open their doors and allow people to take advantage of that opportunity. As I said, there's a plethora of social sport that we offer, and one of those is in collaboration with Parsa. We run a Parsa soccer program, which this year is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on a Sunday, and that's funded through SAF, which is a broader funding stream that both Parsa and ANU Sport are stakeholders within. But I think it's a really positive program, and we reassess it every year. But providing it's been popular and well received, it's something that we'd like to continue into the future. There's representative sport options. So we send teams away to play in intervarsity competitions. We have something called Black Mountain Battle, where we compete against University of Canberra down the road on a yearly basis. And certainly if you are an elite sports person and you want to compete at that level and represent ANU in a higher body of competition, we're the representative body who'd be able to assist you in ensuring all of the checks and balances for applications and submissions are available. And last but not least, we run a program called Get Active, and this is where we go into some of the residential halls and provide some programs and services. We understand some of the barriers that are associated with keeping active if it's a cold winter's morning particularly. So if we can take some of our group fitness classes or our PTs outside of our building and into the residential halls, and it's well received, that's something we'll continue to do as well. In terms of what it looks like, so we offer a really competitive, the cheapest we believe in Canberra, kind of rate for joining our gym. So that's from $8 a week for students. And as I said, at any given time, there's between 70 and 80 group fitness classes, in addition to personal training. So any of the normal, typical services that you would see at a commercial gym, you'd be able to access at the ANU Sport Gym as well. We're based on North Road on campus in Building 19. So most of our services, apart from the Get Active program, obviously, are typically run out of Building 19. Last but not least, we have a evolving scholarships program, which is something we are keen to put more resource into in the coming years. At the moment, we have 5 scholarships across the sporting sector. We have a central ANU Sports Scholarship, and then a number of our clubs, cricket here are 2 of our current scholarship holders, and the AFL club also have some women in leadership scholarships that they offer. So if there's something that you're really interested in, a sport that you're really interested in, and where we can financially support you to do so, there's a couple of opportunities that you can opt into and apply for as well. I think we're going to hold off to questions until the very end, but hopefully that's given you a bit of a snapshot as to what we do and how we might be able to help you on campus and different ways to get involved. But as I said, very happy to field any questions as and when they arise. Thanks, Ritwik.
Thank you, Katrina. That was very, very informative. And I'm sure that all the participants who are joining us got a lot of information about ANU sports. And I can tell you that the Katrina and the entire team is very passionate about the club, and they're there to help you and support you. So make sure that whenever you are on campus, try joining the ANU sports and be the part of our community. Now, next we have Utsav with us, who represents Parsa, who is the Parsa president. And he would be telling us about what Parsa is, what are the different activities which Parsa is doing at the moment, how we are planning the upcoming O week, which is the orientation week. And over to you, Utsav.
Yeah, thanks, Ritwik. I'll also try to share my screen. Says that you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. I believe Katrina has to log out.
That should be all right. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Is it visible to you all?
Yeah, Utsav, the screen is visible.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, everyone. I hope that whoever we are talking to in a virtual online mode is having a good morning, evening, afternoon, night, in whichever time zone they are, and having an amazing time while learning more about Australian National University. So I am here in capacity of Parsa president to talk about the student association. My name is Utsav Gupta. I'm the current president at Parsa. I'm also studying a master's of anthropology here. And Parsa is basically the postgraduate student body for ANU. So what does that mean? That means that this student body represent all the postgraduate students, including masters by research or PhD student who arrive at this university. And the moment that they enroll into a course, they automatically become a member of our association. We are here to represent all of them, to represent their welfare, their well-being, and to ensure that the experience that they get here is worth it. So it was established quite a long back in 1960. As I mentioned, we have more than 10,000 plus members right now who are studying in various colleges and research schools around. So we work on basically 4 major principles. That is support, advocacy, community building, and transparency and sustainability. With respect to support, we help students in going through their whole period throughout their education. What does that mean is that if in case any student has any issues with respect to, say, their academics, or do not understand anything or is not happy with their scores, they can come to us. We have got a dedicated team called Student Assistance Services who will help them out in navigating through the various systems and structures available at the university to understand their issue and how it can be resolved. Similarly, we also help students in other aspects of their university experience, like well-being, or if it's a financial trouble, then we've got a few grant programs available with us right now to help them whenever they're facing a financial crunch. For example, if someone is finding it hard to find an accommodation, then we provide them a grant worth a rental fees of 1 week. Currently, in this period of COVID, and we know that a lot of students who came here have faced unprecedented challenges. And because of that, we have established a new emergency grant called COVID Emergency Grant. And we were provided with $500,000 from the university to help all the students who are facing financial difficulty, especially because of COVID. So we help them, we help all the students with respect to these programs. We also have a free legal service available with us. So if in case any student has any challenges while interacting with their landlords, for example, or with their employer where they're working in a part-time capacity and want to understand what are their legal rights with respect to managing that situation, then we have free legal services which they can, which the students can contact and can get access to. All of these services are absolutely free, and they can be available to anyone who is a member of our association. With respect to community building, we help in generating a community at the university by organizing a plethora of events and ensuring that all the students remain connected even outside their academia. So we focus on a lot of individual groups as well. For example, if it's international students, or if it's women, or if it's queer groups, we have representation for all of these equity groups as well, who make sure to catch up with people on a regular basis. We organize a lot of other events as well. With respect to advocacy, we do a lot of advocating work with the university. So we work in partnership with ANU to ensure that wherever there are new changes upcoming, then we participate in consultation and help in making sure that the right decisions are being taken at the university level. And transparency and sustainability refers to the fact that when we get our grants and our funding from the university, then we ensure that the money is being spent responsibly, and we are being transparent about it. I'm going to talk further more about these four and talk through various kind of activities that we do through these values itself. So as I mentioned, with respect to our support services, we help all the students, especially students who are coming from outside Canberra, whether they are domestic or international. When they arrive at the university, it is not easy to understand a new culture. It is not easy to navigate through the difficulties, whether it is with respect to their academia or accommodation or any other aspect. And so we are here for you. We've got a team of 25 student representatives, but as well as staff who can help students in either resolving any particular issue or guiding towards the right department at the university who can help them out. So some of the data is mentioned in here that we take almost 2,000 plus inquiries in almost a year, and this year would have been much more because of COVID. Key areas that we support are academic issues, legal concerns, and advocacy work. And we also conduct a few campaigns, which I'm going to talk about more when we go to our advocacy page. So with respect to advocacy, as we mentioned, we work in partnership with the university, and we are present in almost all the discussions that happen at the university at all levels ensure that whatever new decisions are being taken are taken with students' perspective in mind. So similar to us, we have representatives from undergraduate association as well, which is called ANUSA. And both of us often engage in conversations with different colleges or university leadership around what changes should happen. For example, in COVID, we were actively involved in the development of online courses or the new marking criteria that was there in semester 1 of this year. We also conduct a few campaigns in areas where we feel that there's a lot of issues present which are affecting our students. We usually conduct research through surveys, collect data from these students, and then advocate with the university and with external entities like the ACD government, federal government, to highlight those issues well and advocate for effective change. Then we come back to community buildings. As I mentioned, we organize a lot of events to create a sense of connectedness among all the students, because it can become quite stressful while during the study time. So we organize a lot of events which are listed here, but I would like to talk specifically about some of the events that we organized during COVID lockdown period, where we knew that it was very hard for students to get in touch with each other. They were not allowed to go out, meet their friends. And that is the time period when we decided to organize a lot of online virtual events to ensure that connectedness remains. So we organized free pizza evenings, we organized study sessions where students could come in and talk to each other and engage in and concentrate on their academic requirements. We organized a Spotlight, which was a talent, kind of a talent submission activity wherein students had to provide pictures or videos or music or songs about their favorite things. And there was a theme every week. Sometimes it was from books to environment to their home country. We also organized some larger events like trips to help students and to make them come out of Canberra, explore the surroundings. And unfortunately this year we have not been able to do many because of the lockdown, but hopefully they will come back next year. And then, as I mentioned, that we ensure that transparency and sustainability is one of the key factors in all of the activities that we perform. We are provided with our grants almost every year, and then we have a team of staff that helps us in ensuring that we are processing all the funds and utilizing them in an ethical manner as well. Our student representatives are elected through an annual election, that usually happens sometime in the second half of the year. And it's a very interesting time as well, because students stand for various positions and actively engage in campaigning and to ensure that they are elected in their intended positions. Another thing which I would like to talk about is Parsa Cycles, which is a shop that we opened in the center of the campus called Cambridge. So we've opened a bike shop wherein students can access uh, services for maintaining their bikes or buy a new one, or even an old one. So we collect a lot of old unused bikes from around the campus, refurbish them and sell it at very affordable rates back to our students. And then this is a very new initiative that we have started, which is environment friendly, and hope to support the students better moving forward. So I believe my presentation was quite very quick, and I'm done here, so we can go to question and answers.
Thank you so much, Utsav. That was really informative. And Parsa is an amazing association. During my student life, I've been the part of Parsa and is currently on the board of directors. But I would say that right from events, advocacy, community building, it's a fantastic organization to be a part of, and I would encourage all the students who come at ANU to make sure that they be the part of the orientation week, they be the part of all the events, all the campaigns which is run by Parsa. So we had some Q&A for the ANU sports, and most of them is being answered by Katrina, but I'll just tell all those questions which people ask so that everyone is on the same pace. So we had a question that are competitive sports team based on tryouts? So yes, for some of the clubs, yes, but for others, no. It most of the time it depends upon the structure. For example, men and women football team who have 20 plus team, so a lot of opportunities from first grade to more social players. So definitely in some there are, and in some I would say they are not required. It's not required. Secondly, does ANU sports also include interhall sports? Now, interhall sports is a separate entity by ANU, and but ANU sports support their program and provide all the necessary facility and assistance and finances to them. How do you apply for the position with ANU Sports? So the positions are advertised on a regular basis on the social media platform, and also you can mail your resume to sports at anusports.com.au so that they can keep a track. If anything comes up, they can contact you. How are the team run? Are they coaches? So again, it depends on the team, club, and sports, but the larger proportion of clubs do have coaches. Then there was one question that do you organize any outdoor group activities, example running or cycling trips? So some of the club operates these kind of activities. They have walking, caving, and but most of the trips are club operated and it's supported by a new initiative. Someone asked about the swimming pool. Yes, we do have swimming pool, but again, it is not run by ANU Sports. It is run by a commercial provider called Clubline. But yes, we do have a swimming pool on campus. Someone asked about the boxing. Is it there? Like, do we have a boxing club, or is it coming anytime soon? So there isn't currently a boxing club at the moment, but you can able to access the boxing activities through the PT program. And there's one open question. What are the clubs for computer engineering students? Uh, okay, what are the clubs for computer engineering students? So basically, there are a lot of clubs which sits under ANUSA, which is the sister concern of Parsa. And there you have a lot of engineering clubs, debating clubs. So during the orientation week, we have something called as Market Day, where all these clubs and associations do participate, and you can take the membership. Also, if you go on the ANUSA's website, you can find the list of all the clubs and societies and their contact details, and you can write them an email and they can tell you that how you can be a part of it.
Yeah,
Are you
just to
able
add
to?
on,
Yeah, sure.
just to add on to that. So there is this, there's a entity called Clubs Council, which basically manages all the clubs and societies or at ANU, except for Parsa, ANUSA, and the media bodies. I can answer the question specifically for computer engineer. There is something called ESA, which is Engineering Student Association, but I'm sure there are other clubs or groups specific to computer engineering as well. As Ritvik mentioned, it is suggested that you guys search for ANU Clubs Council, which is administered by ANUSA, and their website will provide you much more details about all the clubs and societies.
Utsav, next questions we have that are you able to, sorry, this is for Katrina. Are you able to set up your own sports club and how would this work?
Unmute. Yes, you absolutely can. And I think I saw a follow-up one about dance there, which is actually our newest club. So it's a great example. I can probably answer those questions at the same time. So yes, we do have a dance club as of this year. And they approached us with a pitch to set up a dance club. We have a number of obligations and checks and balances you have to go through before you can set up a club. You have to demonstrate that there's enough students interested, so that can't be 2 or 3 of you, and there's a minimum of 20 that have to be interested in your club, and they have to be people who would become paying members of your club to help sustain it. You have to write a constitution, and we will have all of this documentation templated for you to be able to do, so you don't have to do it from scratch, but just in terms of what your club stands for, how you will protect and manage your membership. And you have to provide a small budget for how you, using both club grants and also membership fees, how you will sustain the financial operations of a club into the future. And then once you have all of that information, it goes to our board, and the board make a decision on whether they will ratify that club as an affiliated club. So there's quite a methodical process, but as I said, it's all very well templated. And the important thing is that you can justify that there's enough people within the student body who have a shared interest, and that's primarily what we're looking for, but the board has the ultimate decision.
Thank you, Katrina. So yes, if you're passionate about opening a club or founding a club, definitely there are enormous amount of opportunities as long as you're meeting the necessary criteria, which is mentioned, which was mentioned by Katrina. It's all good to go. Also, we have some time left with us, so I would request all the participants, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A, and Utsav and Katrina would be more than happy to answer it. Again, right now we are talking about Parsa and ANU Sports, which is one of the leading organizations in the at the Australian National University. And both these organizations play a very important role in any student's life who is studying at the ANU, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the degree, it's about the journey which you live in the university. And to live that journey to the full, it's always good to engage with these clubs and societies, which not only build the leadership quality, but also helps you in finding about the community, about the culture, about the diversity for which the Australian National University is known for. And we have some more questions with us. What's the process of starting up non-sports club? I think, Utsav, you can take up that question.
Sure. I believe the process is more or less kind of similar to sports clubs at ANU Sport. It's just that if anyone is interested in opening a non-sports club, they reach out to Clubs Council. Clubs Council have quite a good documentation around to help students with how to start a new club. What are the basic requirements? Every club needs to have some sort of a constitution, as well as some other details around how they're going to get their funding and how they're going to manage their funding, and similar areas which needs to be answered. And once that is done, then the request goes to Club Council, which is also represented by students. So the Club Council reviews the application and then decides on it whether the club would be formed or not.
Thank you, Utsav. We have one specific question. What are the scientific societies in ANU? So definitely there are a lot of scientific societies which sits under the ANUSA's portfolio. And also I'm going to share a link where you can find all the list. But definitely, as mentioned earlier, we have different engineering societies. We also have a rocket club. So if someone is interested in engineering perspective, so yes, that is one which falls under scientific category. There's a lot of things in the astrophysics and the astronomy sector. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities where you can find out what all clubs and societies you are interested in, and based on that, you can join them. I think we have one question for Katrina. How can we participate sports casually, such as making appointments about tennis court, finding out students who are also interested in playing during available time period, etc.?
If you either call the sports centre or come into the sports centre, which is based at Building 19, you can access a student rate for using any of the facilities on campus. So if tennis is your thing, then please come in. We have some informal ways. It's a really good question, actually, if you just want to find someone else who's interested in playing casual tennis at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. And we have a couple of platforms that facilitate that. And typically our clubs generate a lot of that conversation around informal and casual usage. But certainly if you come to the sports centre, that would be your first port of call in terms of accessing the facility anyway.
Thank you, Katrina. And do we have chess club? I think we do have a chess club as per my memory, but I think you can give more confirmation on that.
Yes, there is a chess society. And Ritvik, I've just mentioned the link of all the clubs onto the chat box, but it has gone to all the panelists. So if you would like, you can share it with all the attendees as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Utsav. I'll do that right away. So that's fantastic. I'm so glad that people are asking so many questions and they are interested in either joining the clubs and societies or forming their own club. That's the spirit, I would say. And definitely, there are a lot of online engagement, as Utsav and Katrina mentioned, because of the COVID situations. Most of the students won't be able to join us physically at the campus because of the border restrictions. But we are hoping that soon the situation gets better and we see you on campus. Apart from that, I would ask Utsav if he can just tell me that what are the plans for orientation week 2020 for second semester. Like, are we still on the planning mode, or do we have anything which you want to share with our students at the moment?
Absolutely. Thanks for reminding about that, Ritik. So before every semester starts, there is this culture at ANU and I believe at other Australian universities as well to have something called an O week, which is orientation week as well. So right before classes start, it's a week in which all the student bodies, ANU sports and other associations organize a number of events to help students understand what all facilities are available on campus, what all clubs are available on campus. It's a very vibrant atmosphere usually because every day there's something or the other going on. Sometimes there's a concert happening, or on other days there's a karaoke event. This year and this time as well, we are planning a virtual O week along with the other organizing bodies at the university, and some of our events would be on similar lines that would include trivia, or it might include a karaoke or a global cafe in which there will be student participants from various countries showcasing their talents of music, dance, and so on and so forth. We also have a postgraduate welcome evening for all the new postgraduates who come over to the campus, wherein they get a chance to interact with the Parsa, but also ANU leadership, which is present there. So there's a host of stuff which happens during the O week, and I would highly recommend that any new student who's coming to the university, they should go through the calendar of events for O week.
Thank you, Utsav. We have next question with us that during the lockdown, how can we be a part of the online events? My straight answer would be that join ANU Sport and Parsa on their social media page, and also follow the website. I'm just putting down the link on the chat for ANU Sports and Parsa, and maybe Katrina and Utsav can tell more that how can the audience be more participative during this COVID times.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned it right, Ritvik, said that information about all of our activities is given out on the social media platform as well as on our website. So um, I would advise you guys to add Parsa and other interested association and clubs pages on Facebook and on other social media pages if they are available. There is information which keeps updated on a daily basis about new events, about new activities. Sometimes we have invitation for new casual jobs or new roles where students would like to participate in as well. So there's something or the other going on all the time.
Thank you, Utsav. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities where you can participate. I know that we are in a time where we are locked down at our respective locations and won't be able to be on campus for like for next some time. But definitely, organizations like Parsa and ANU Sports make sure that though you are in your respective locations, but still you are connected to our community and can be a part of it. And there are heaps of activities which are run online and you can be a part of it. Any more questions? We have like 2 3 more minutes for this webinar. If there are some final questions you want to ask to our panelists, Katrina and Utsav, please feel free to ask. And we would be more than happy to see you virtually or maybe when the borders open up physically on campus. So, Katrina, do you have some plans for the semester two, like ANU Sports, doing something for our semester two students who are on campus or who are virtually, like the engagement for them?
Yep, we're a bit like Seth was saying. We're working through those plans at the moment, but there will be a combination of things that will deliver in person where we can, and we're really pleased that some of our sport, as I said in the online Q&A, lots of our activities are already back up and running, and so we've had our ovals open since the end of May for both casual and formal use. Our sports halls opened last weekend, which is great, and the gym's back up and running. So physically we're getting there. We're not quite there 100% yet, but we are getting there for people to be able to be physically present, and we'll continue that access, particularly through O Week, and make sure that there's a presence on campus so people know who we are and what we do and where they can find us. But yes, until we're back to any semblance of normal, we will be continuing some online activity. Our clubs particularly have been great, and where they can do fitness online, they've been doing that and sharing it. And they've been holding social events to keep connected with their other club members, like online quizzes, just to make sure during the lockdown people still had friendship groups and weren't feeling really isolated. We're looking to do some online virtual tours of our facilities during that O Week and Bush Week period. So if you can't make it onto campus, that you'll still get a sense of being present in the building and seeing the facilities used and how you might want to use them in the future. So as much as possible, we're trying to get back to a semblance of normal, but yes, until that point, lots will still be available online, I hope.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Katrina. So I think that's all from our side. I would like to thank Utsav and Katrina for sharing the information about the respective organization, ANU Sports and Parsa, and giving so much information to our audience. And also, we have a webinar week which is going on at the moment. We would be having more webinars in the coming days. There's a student life webinar which is day after tomorrow. We would be joined by the careers team on Friday. So make sure that you register for all those webinars. They're very informative. I would encourage everyone to join a student life webinar where you would get the opportunity to talk to our current students, and they can tell you that how it is, to study during the COVID times and what it takes to study at the Australian National University. They can tell you more about this fantastic capital city, Canberra, and more about the university. So that's all from our side. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the upcoming webinars very soon. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.